Hey guys, B Twice here. Today is Monday, August 2nd. I hope everybody had a good and profitable trading day. Quite an interesting one that we saw today across the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and IWM. So I figured we will take a look at exactly what we saw today and what I think could potentially be coming. So over the weekend, I put out bull and bear case for both SPY and QQQ, and that we could have I basically said we could have already bottomed for two, or we could be heading lower. The beginning price action that we actually saw today, I was favoring. Hey, looks like the bull count's going to end up being correct because the market is absolutely rallying, and then come close, it seemed like it was a major fake out. So basically, what we're seeing is that we had a five-wave move to the upside for a higher degree wave one, and that we had already seen the three-wave move to the downside. We had an A, B, C. So somewhere right around here is where I was having the video over the weekend talking about the bull and bear case. The bull case was that we were popping up for a one, we were pulling back for a two, and then we were going to rally. But that our green two bottom, so this two was already set back here. Ultimately, we rallied at open, and I had tweeted saying, hey, I did think that looks like the bull case is going to hold, but we still weren't 100% sure yet. And ultimately, what ended up happening was we had a sell off towards the end of the day. Technically speaking, we're still above where our low was set on Friday. We're still a little bit above it. So the bull case could still be correct. We could rally super hard at open tomorrow and ultimately not go any lower, but I don't think that's the case. What I think is going to happen is that we actually had a three-way move to the downside for an A. We had a three-way move up for a B, and ultimately we're heading lower again right now for a C. Where do I think that this is taking us? I think it's going to take us somewhere between 436 and 433. Now, it's going to be a great dip by spot. I've I'm a firm believer that obviously when we're in a massive uptrend, that you want to take positions on dips and you go long term. You don't really want to play weeklies unless you're 100% positive you're going to get a bounce from the spot you're buying in. So if we do head all the way down to this 433, in my opinion, that would be a spot that you might want to gamble some weeklies if you're an options trader, because we really should get a hard rally off of this spot if we get that low. Now, with that being said, I still think it is better to give yourself some time, and that anywhere or any dip will be a buy in this area. So what do I see happening? SPY likely heads a little bit lower. Maybe we stop right at the 436 range and catch support there and rally hard off of it. A lot of these corrections have been very, very shallow. But with that all being said, I think that all dips right now on SPY are a buy. But you still want to be careful this high in the wave count with hedge. Let's take a look at QQQ. Let me get rid of that real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so QQQ is same story. So when I put out the bull and bear case over the weekend, I had drawn that the bull case would be that we already had an A, a B, and a C. Now, I never really cared for this being an ABC move right here because look how shallow this A was. So it's a very, very shallow A, B, and then a massive C. I really didn't like calling that an ABC, but the market works in mysterious ways, and it is entirely possible that this right here is bottom. As of the end of the trading day today, this still could have been bottom. But ultimately, what I'm thinking is that I do think we had a little bit lower. I think the S&P 500, the QQQ, and IWM are going to all head a little bit lower, but that dip is a buy. What I'm seeing is that we had an A, we had a B, and we're moving down for our green C. Within this green C, we have an A, B, C move in itself. So where should we look for the dip buy spot at? I think that we're going to go somewhere between 361 to 357. I really don't think we're going to break that 357 range. If we can get lucky enough to get in at 357, that's a golden buy in my opinion. I just don't think that's going to happen. We could end up coming a little bit lower. Maybe we only get to this 361, which is a little bit truncated, which is fine. Honestly, that's probably more likely because I don't think the S&P 500 is going to go that low. But with that being said, just like the S&P 500 or SPY, I think that all dips at this level are buy because I do not think the top is in. I think we're going to head a little bit lower, and then from there we're going to have a hard rally, and it should take us up into this 370 range. Okay, so now IWM. So IWM I actually had on my favorite stock picks I put out on Friday. So why is that? Well, it's because I'm seeing a 1-2-1-2 nest. So we're going to be in a wave 3 of 3. I think that IWM is going to lead the charge on this next rally up. We continue to see strength out of IWM. Today it was leading in the morning. Ultimately it sold off, and that's what we've been seeing lately. We've been seeing IWM leading at open, leading through a good portion of the day, and then it sells off. So when the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ actually start to rally, I expect that the Russell or the IWM is going to rally more so than both of those. Hopefully I'm right, because what I'm seeing is that we had a 5-way move to the upside for a 1. We had a WXY pull down for a 2, 5-way move upside for another 1, and now we're in the process of a WXY move down for a wave 2. So where's this bottom? The bottom might have already been found, and that's why I was tweeting about at midday that I think that all dips are buying IWM. You just want to make sure you're giving yourself time. So the bottom could have already been set right at this 220 range, or maybe we do go a little bit lower. If we get lucky enough to have IWM go all the way down to 217, yeah, that's a great, great, great dip buy. Because from here, where do I see us going? I think we're going to be heading up to somewhere in the mid 230 range. We just really got to break 225. So with that being said, I think small caps are going to lead it. I'm sticking to my guns. I will be a buyer of dips, and I am not going to be selling my position. So, all right, guys, if you like these videos, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe.